Hello, welcome to Denver, Colorado. I'm here for a quick trip, so today we're gonna go on a hike and then obviously go down the mountain and get some good food to eat nearby. I'm gonna tell you all about some of the hikes around and my short trip to Denver, so let's get heading up Mount Falcon. So a little bit about where I'm staying in Denver. I'm staying downtown at the Element. It's like one of those like eco hotels, so there's a lot of focus on recycled materials and things like that. I honestly picked it because it was pretty affordable and not too far from the airport. It was like 30 minutes in a car and I was able to easily get an Uber, which was really nice. But I do recommend renting a car if you want to come hiking like I am today. That's what I did. I just rented a car and we came all the way about 30 minutes outside of the city to Morris, Colorado, where Red Rocks are, Mount Falcon. And there's another hike we might explore a little later. But the best part about my hotel is the hotel breakfast. I was very surprised by it. It definitely just had a lot of options. This might not appeal to everyone, but if you're honestly in Colorado for some hikes and you want to stay downtown, it's a really good option. And having breakfast included is always a plus. But let's keep going up the summit. Whew, you can hear my breath. The altitude's a lot here. So if you're not from somewhere that has a high elevation, be prepared for the symptoms of altitude sickness or just needing to catch your breath. So let's keep going and we'll check in a little bit. Okay, so these are some things that you want to make sure you bring with you on your hike. Number one, water. This might be a given, but you know, if it's hot like today and you're going up into an even higher altitude than the base of Denver, you really just want to make sure you don't leave without it. I recommend either a bottle or a water bladder. This is what I have today. Also, sunglasses. Protect your eyes. It's super important, especially when you're getting closer and closer to the sun. And a hat, if you have it. That is always good to keep some shade. And then also closed-toed shoes, because the biggest threat on your hike actually are rattlesnakes. So you just want to make sure you keep an eye out for them. And at the trailhead, they had some great information for safety tips that I'll share with you. So they said to follow the 30-30 rule. So if you see a rattlesnake, then make sure you stay back 30 feet and you wait 30 seconds to see if it's going to leave the trail. Obviously, we don't want any problems, so just be mindful, do your research, and enjoy the views as you're going up. So let's keep going and drink some water. What am I forgetting? Sunscreen. Oh, sunscreen! Oh my goodness. Yes, sunscreen. Face, body, cover up if you can. Long pants if you want to protect your legs a little better, or high socks. And yeah, let's keep going. More altitude. Man, these views are crazy though. It's Red Rocks. Woo! We made it to the top of Mount Falcon. Now, it is a pretty long hike. According to All Trails, it said it was around 7 miles. I don't know where the start and end for that is. We are following the Castle Trail, and all the way up, they're just beautiful views. But if you power through and you go all the way up to the ruins that we saw at the top, then you'll see kind of the other side of the views, and you get all of this. And it's just like a whole new view at the top. It's beautiful. The mountains are just incredible. You can even see snow on top of some of them further out, which is awesome. And speaking of those ruins, there is actually a really fascinating history. It used to be someone's home. It was a really influential person that lived in Colorado. I believe his name was John Walker, and he had a lot of interesting parts of his career, including owning Cosmopolitan magazine. He also edited for it, which is totally crazy. But I think the craziest thing of all is that by 1905, he was a millionaire, which you can imagine being a millionaire in 1905. And since, as I said, he lived up here in this crazy mansion with like 8 fireplaces, a music room, a lookout deck. But unfortunately in, I believe it was 1916, the house had actually, or maybe it was 1918, put that on the screen too. The house actually got struck by lightning and burned down. So he decided it was time to pack his bags and leave Mount Falcon. But some of the trails up here, including like a walker's path, are named for him, I'd assume. But it's pretty cool. The other thing to note about this trail is that you might have just heard someone go by, but you can actually mountain bike up it too. There is another trail called the Turkey Trot Trail, where you can't mountain bike at all. So if you're looking for just a hiking trail only, you can definitely check out the Turkey Trot Trail. It's a little bit shorter, but again, the views are incredible the whole way up. So if you don't want to get all the way up to the peak, I totally recommend just going up to where you want, either turning around or following the Turkey Trot Trail, which is just a loop. Obviously, I've got some goods with me. This is time to reapply the sunscreen, have some water, and have some snacks before we head down the mountain. We're gonna check out a few other trails just to kind of see what else this little area has to offer. Obviously, we need to go to Red Rocks. Rumor has it the Mount Falcon's a little bit better, but we're still gonna check it out just so we can see the views. And then we're gonna go get something to eat nearby. So let's have a bite to eat at the top of the mountain and then get going. Also, one more thing. So I mentioned closed-toe shoes are super important, but this is a pretty rocky trail, and I can imagine if it's not the summer and maybe there's there's rain or snow or other things, you would definitely want hiking boots. It's 100% doable in sneakers. I have had absolutely no issues whatsoever. But if you are someone who cares a lot about what shoes they wear when they're hiking, bring your hiking boots if you have them, or your trail shoes, or whatever you prefer. And yeah, enjoy the time. Also, there are different trailheads for this hike, and if you go up the West Trail, rumor has it it's a little bit quicker and shorter. So if you are looking for something maybe a little bit less intense, I'd either check out that, or like I said, the Turkey Trot Trail is also great. Also, my sunscreen for my face pick is the Trader Joe's Daily Facial Sunscreen. Might be hard to find for a lot of people, but it's my current favorite, and there leaves no white cast, which some people care about. I definitely do, because I'm already pretty pale. So I think my mic was potentially dead for some of that, so you might hear cameraman Brian gasping for air at the top of this mountain. Also, there are different trailheads for this hike, and if you go up the West Trail, rumor has it it's a little bit quicker and shorter. As I've said, we're at a high altitude. All of us, need some oxygen a little bit, but sorry if you hear some breathing in the background. At least the view is pretty.
Be surprised. Be excited. Be exasperated.
This is the Cow and Eatery. This was an epic lunch, perfect for post-hike. We were here for some fried, heavy, delicious food. Although I will say we did not get the ice cream, which, it is like a bit of a creamery as well. So I would recommend getting ice cream in addition to the lunch that we got. Now, to eat, we started off with some cheese curds. These were fried cheese curds, and they had this
chipotle aioli sauce with it. I have never had a cheese curd that was like so stretchy, because normally they got that squeak, but they had a squeak and a stretch. I was very impressed. We, to no one's surprise, finished all of these. They were delicious. And then for our mains, we both got sandwiches. I had the Summit, which is kind of like a turkey sandwich, but it all was on sourdough, and it also had Havarti on it. It was delicious. And then I got the tater tots on the side, and then Cameron and Brian had these French fries that were kind of like potato chips. Both were delicious, but the tater tots were a little crispy, like they were good, but definitely very fried. Now for the fries, if you're into steak fries, I would definitely recommend getting them. Sandwich, delicious. Also a moment for my curl that's sticking out. That is definitely some post-hike hair we've got going on here. Now Cameron and Brian hit a home run with the mac and cheese grilled cheese. This thing was wild and exactly what I wanted after I was sweating for many hours straight climbing a mountain. Now this just 10 out of 10, delicious. The vibe was great. We sat outside. It was only like a few minute drive from the hike, and it was wonderful on our day in Denver, hiking all around the Red Rocks. Oh, also, Cameron and Brian thought it was quite funny that they were open from 6:59 a.m. to 8:01 p.m., and I will admit, it gave me a little chuckle.
So this is another trail option if you don't want to do Mount Falcon. We are at Mathews Winters Park. So there are a ton of hike options, but there's also some hikes that are maybe a little bit shorter than what we did. Additionally, there's also some picnic seating right at the base. So if you just want to be in Red Rocks in the same, I should mention that this is an 8-minute drive from Mount Falcon. So they're both valid options if you're going right outside of Denver to the town of Morrison, where Red Rocks and Mount Falcon and Mathews Winters Park are. They're great options, but you can go to the base here and just come for lunch and kind of just soak in all of the views down below without having to climb to the top. But this is a hike and eats episode, so we're gonna show you one more hike that you could do on your day in Denver. Let's go. Okay, and then our last option for a hike outside Denver is obviously Red Rocks. Now, hiking at Red Rocks, you can kind of see this trail isn't as intense as some of the other trails. And if you went to the amphitheater where all of the iconic concerts are, you can hike up that a little bit or go and walk around it, but there's really not as much to offer as if you were going to Mount Falcon or Mathews or Mathews Winters Park. So I would recommend honestly driving over to Red Rocks. If you get it a little earlier, you might be able to go see the amphitheater. Today, they're having a concert. I believe it's Grateful Dead. So if you're a big music fan and you plan in advance, I definitely would just say go hike all day and then go see a show there at night. But that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.